Everybody, it's Miss Beck, and I'm going to share one of my favorite knowledge stories with you today, and it is a folk tale. And the title of my story is The Little Red Hen. You may have heard this story before. All right, let me share. Miss Smith and I were talking, and we said we really love this particular story. Both of us really love this story. So we're going to start with the picture, and in the picture we see the little red hen. And take a look at the other animals you see. I see a pig and a duck and a cat. The little red hen is wearing an apron, so that gives us a clue that this is a fiction story. Now remember, folk tales are fiction. They are fake, 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 so not true. We're going to talk about chickens and hens. We're going to talk about our main character from our folk tale, who is the little red hen. We're going to understand the word ripe, and we're going to talk about the sequence of events in our folk tale. We're going to describe the plot or what happens in the story. All right, so our story does have a narrator. And if you're not familiar with the term narrator, the narrator is someone outside of the story who tells the story, okay? So they're telling the story to an outsider, and the characters are almost as if they're acting out the story. This would be a really fun activity to act out the story. Here are some important words we're going to encounter. The first word is dough. Dough is a mixture of flour and milk and water used to make bread. So for example, Dad flattened the dough to make a delicious pizza crust. Ripe was our important word. Ripe means that it is ready to eat. The fruit was ripe. Or yesterday, remember we talked about the produce. The produce is ripe and ready. Weeds. I bet you've heard the word weeds before. Weeds are wild plants that grow and they're not wanted. So in the garden, there might be weeds, but you're probably going to pull them up because you do not want them. Miss Beck had a lot of weeds in her flowers this summer. So we're going to read The Little Red Hen. So old MacDonald did have a hen on his farm. And we know a hen is a girl chicken. And do you know why farmers have hens? That's right, they have hens to lay eggs. And have you ever seen a hen before? I showed you a picture of one. I don't know if you've ever seen a real hen. They can be different sizes and different colors. What kind of sound does a hen make? So we learned that farmers do make different crops and they sell those crops for food, but those crops can be food for animals or people. So today we will hear a story or a make-believe story about a hen that grows wheat as a crop. And if you guys can remember back to yesterday, the wheat products we talked about, there are many different wheat products that are used in production. So one of the things that they can make is bread. So our little red hen was wanting to be able to make bread. Hey, buddy, what you doing?
I'll watch you do this.
Where is your teacher?
He's in,
Does she know where you are?
I've told her.
You told her?
I've told her last time I could come in here, but I just want to watch you.
Well, you have to tell her, you can tell her I'll be here for a little bit longer. I'm recording this story, but you have to go tell her where you are, if that's okay. All right, so we're going to read the story of the little red hen. So let's take a look at this picture and let's ask the question, what is happening in this picture and who do you think the little red hen will ask for help? So look at the little red hen. Can you tell what she's doing? That's right. She's going to plant something. And right here she has her seeds and her watering can, and she also has her rake. And she's using that rake. Do you know what she's using the rake for? She's using it to prepare the ground. So The story of the little red hen. So in our story, the hen has a difficult task. And sometimes when you have a difficult task, you need to be able to have some help. Okay? So if you don't have help, you're going to employ some people to help you. So you're going to get some friends. Let me go back and show you that screen in case my screen was off of that. There's the little red hen, and she is preparing the soil, and she has seeds and a watering can. So there she is. Sorry about that because I switched over. I had a friend come in here, and I don't think his teacher knew where he was. So that was not too good. Okay. Goodness gracious, sorry. So there's our little red hen. All right. So you sometimes need some help when you have a problem. So we're going to listen carefully to find out if the little red hen gets the help that she needs. So the little red hen worked hard every day, but the animals on the farm never helped her. As she was scratching around in the barnyard one day, the little red hen found some grains of wheat. We can plant these seeds and they will grow, thought the hen. If the grains of wheat are planted, what type of crop will grow? So she asked, "Who will help me plant these grains of wheat?" Who do you think will help the little red hen plant the grains of wheat? You think some of the animals that we saw before? Not I, said the duck. Not I, meowed the cat. Not I, oinked the pig. Then I will do it myself, clucked the little red hen. And that is what she did, all by herself. Every day she checked to see how her flowers were growing, her crops. She pulled the weeds around them and gave the wheat room to grow. Weeds are wild plants that grow when they are not wanted. By the end of the summer, those seeds of wheat had sprouted and grown into tall stalks of ripe golden grain. When the stalks of wheat were ripe and the wheat grain was ready to be harvested from the field, the little red hen asked, "Who will help me cut the wheat?" Who do you think will help the little red hen cut the wheat? Not I, quacked the duck. Not I, meowed the cat. Not I, oinked the pig. Then I will cut it myself. Uh-oh, nobody wants to help her. And that is just what she did. She cut it all by herself. When she had cut the wheat, the little red hen asked, "Who will help me grind this wheat grain into flour?" Who do you think might help her? Not I, quacked the duck. Not I, meowed the cat. Not I, oinked the pig. Then I will do it myself, said the little red hen. And she did. All by herself. And she had mixed the dough. The little red hen asked, "Who will help me bake the bread?" Who do you think will help the little red hen bake the bread? Not I, quacked the duck. Not I, meowed the cat. Not I, oinked the pig. Then I will do it myself, clucked the little red hen. And so she did. And so All by herself, the little red hen baked a fine loaf of bread. Let's see that bread. It looks delicious, doesn't it? It looks fragrant. Looks like it smells so good. And look, it's still hot. See the steam rising from it? Ooh, that looks good. Now, she said, who will help me eat this loaf of bread? I will, said the duck. I will, meowed the cat. I will, oink the pig. Look how delicious it smells. Ah, clucked the little red hen. No, you will not. I planted the wheat by myself. I cut the wheat all by myself. I ground the wheat grain into flour all by myself. And I mixed the dough and baked it all by myself. And now I will eat it all by myself. And that is just what she did, all by herself. So guys, they wanted to not help, but they wanted to eat it. So she's the only one who got a piece of that bread. That serves them right. They didn't even help her. All right, let's see if we can answer some questions. Question number 1. What crop does the little red hen use to make bread? That's right. The little red hen uses wheat to make bread. Number 2, in the story, the little red hen asked the other animals for help several different times in the story. Let's see if we can remember what she asked them to do. First, she asked them to help plant the seeds. Next, she asked them to help cut the wheat. Then she wanted help with grinding the wheat into flour. Then she wanted to make the dough, bake the bread, and then lastly, what did she want to do? Eat the bread. Why doesn't the little red hen let the other animals eat the bread? Well, they didn't help her with any of the work, so they don't get to enjoy the reward. Number 4, why do you think a duck, cat, and pig were chosen for the characters in this story rather than a lion, a giraffe, an elephant, or a tiger? Why do you think the author may have chose those animals? Well, there could be several different answers to this question, but the answer that we have listed is that these animals are farm animals, and so the characters did need to be animals that live on a farm where wheat is grown. So that makes sense. All right, guys, number 5, what is the moral or lesson of this folk tale? So what do you think this story was trying to teach us? Well, I think it may have been trying to teach us that if you work hard and you help others, that you will get good things. And also on the other side of that, if you don't work hard and that you don't help others, you may not get the reward, okay? All those other animals, they didn't want to help her. And as a result, they did not get to eat that bread. So they were not very kind, okay? All right, let's do some word work. The word is ripe. When the stalks of wheat were ripe and the wheat grain was ready to be harvested from the field, the little red hen asked, "Who will help me cut the wheat?" Say the word ripe with me. Ripe. If something is ripe, it is a fruit, vegetable, or grain that is ready to be harvested or eaten. I could tell the banana was ripe because it was bright yellow. Can you think of any fruits or vegetables that are not good unless they are ripe? Well, let's say a banana is one of them, right? And the green bananas aren't very good. And the ones that are yellow, but they're too yellow or they turn brown, they're not very good either. What's it? We talked about this fruit before with our good friend Johnny Appleseed. Apples. Apples are not very good unless they're ripe. If they're not ripe enough, they don't taste very good. And if they're too ripe, they taste horrible. They taste rotten. Tomatoes. Tomatoes are another one. Are there any more that you can think about? So what's the word we've been talking about? That's right. It's ripe. All right, let's make some choices. I'm going to say two things. One thing would need to be ripe and one thing would not need to be ripe. So let's see if we can figure out which one. These things would be on a farm. All right, so we have corn or tractor. Which one needs to be ripe? That's right, the corn. Tractors don't need to be ripe. We all know what a tractor is, right? That you use to ride on, and you can tend to your crops on the tractor, okay? Number 2, eggs or strawberries? That's right, strawberries need to be ripe. Eggs are not a fruit or a vegetable. Number 3, calves or pumpkins? What are calves? That's right, they're baby cows. Yeah, pumpkins. Pumpkins need to be ripe. Watermelons or barns? I've never seen a ripe barn. That's right, watermelons. Tomatoes or hens? I'm going to go with tomatoes on that one. All right, so now let me show you some pictures of the little red hen. Whew, you have to excuse me a sec. We're going to talk about the sequence of events in the little red hen. So in your packet, this is the last page in your packet, you have a sheet that looks like this. And as part of your assignment, what you are supposed to do is you're supposed to look at the pictures and you're supposed to sequence them. So when we sequence, we talk about those sequence words: first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. So if we're looking down here at the bottom, we have cut the wheat, and you may need some help with looking at these pictures and deciding what they are, okay? Plant the wheat, mix and bake the bread, water the wheat, and eat the bread. So what Miss Beck wants you to do is I want you to color these pictures, and then I would like you to cut them out on the dotted line, okay? I'm not going to color mine at this moment, but please color yours. I'm going to cut on our dotted line. And I do want us to talk about the answers we get. Remember, when we're cutting on a line, we need to stay on the line and try to cut nice and straight, nice and neat. What I do is I actually cut that whole line off right there. Then I go to the top and I cut off the whole next part of the line. And then I come over here to the side and I cut that part off. And I go to the other side and I cut this part off. And then I just go ahead and I cut each box right here on the line. See where my lines are? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then what I do is I spread them out on my table. So I'm going to spread mine out in front of me. And I'm going to think about what happened in our story. So let's think. Plant the wheat, eat the bread, water the wheat, cut the wheat. Which one of those things comes first? Since this is my paper, I better write my name. Every day, the first thing is the same. I pick up my paper and I write my name. So let me write this name before I do anything else. My name is Mrs. Beck. What's your name? All right, first. Okay, so first, do we plant the wheat, eat the wheat, water the wheat, or cut the wheat? If you said, excuse me, plant the wheat, you are correct. Ding, ding, ding. First, we need to plant the wheat. So you're going to put that with some glue on our first box. First, we need to plant the wheat. What do we plant for wheat? The seeds. That's right. Okay. All right. So next, should we eat the bread? Should we water the wheat? Should we cut the wheat? Or should we mix and bake the bread? What should we do second? I think we need to water the wheat. Because remember the needs of our plants. Plants need water to grow. So they're out there in the sun and they need that water to grow. There's the little red hen watering the wheat. She's a hard worker. That's her best quality, isn't it? Hard work. All right. So first, plant the wheat. Second, water the wheat. All right, let's keep going. Now, third, are we going to eat the bread, cut the wheat, or mix and break the bread? Which one? Well, we can't eat the bread yet. It's not ready. We can't mix and bake the bread. That's right, we have to cut the wheat. The wheat is what we're going to use and ground into the flour to make the bread. So third, we have to cut the wheat. That's what we need to do. All right. First, plant the wheat. Second, water the wheat. Third, cut the wheat. Now we only have two more choices left. Mix and bake the bread or eat the bread. Well, I don't believe there's any way we can eat the bread yet. We have not mixed and baked it. Okay, so number 4, mix and bake the bread. My goodness, sounds like a tongue twister. Mix and bake the bread, number 4. All right, lastly, 5th. Do you know which one that's going to be? That's right, we're going to eat the bread. But if we are the pig, is the pig going to eat the bread? No. Is the duck going to eat the bread? No. What about the kitty cat? No. Who is the only character that's going to eat the bread? That's right. The little red hen is the only character who is going to eat the bread because she is the only one who did the work. Boys and girls, you did a great job sequencing those events. Let's say them together. All right, so let's do first. First, the little red hen plants the wheat. Second, the little red hen waters the wheat. Third, the little red hen cuts the wheat. Fourth, she mixes and bakes the bread. And fifth, she eats the bread. Now, all along in this story, the little red hen asked, "Who will help me?" Do you remember what the other characters in the story said? Did they say, "I'll help you. I want to help you"? No, they didn't. They said, "Not I, not I." They were not helpful characters. The only one willing to do the work was the little red hen. So at the end of the day, the only one who got to eat the bread was the little red hen. Boys and girls, thank you for stopping in and listening to our story, The Little Red Hen. I will see you all later.